All right, taking you straight over to Colombo now, where the Sri Lankan government is addressing the media.
Till everything is finished, I cannot give out these names.
But Minister, in the reports we have seen, there the name of Zahran Hashmi, who was described as the leader of the National Tawheed Jamaat. So what we really want to know is what has happened to him.
Look, I cannot give out the names of the persons, but I can only say that the leader of this, the person who gave the lead to this attack, is one of the suicide bombers, and he has taken his flight.
Sorry, can you just be a bit clearer? Your Prime Minister said yesterday specifically about this Zahran Hashim that he thought that he had committed suicide. He'd been one of the suicide bombers, but that hadn't been confirmed yet. I know you're obviously restricted, but can you just say you're talking about the same person?
Well, there is a group, and there are quite a few individuals, and out of that, from this group, the leader of this group has committed suicide at the Shangri-La Hotel. But what we are conducting investigation is to find out whether there are other people who are involved in this group. It's just not restricted to the bombers. So I have to find out how many others are involved in this. So those investigations are going on, so which is why...
But are you saying that this Zahran Hashim person was the leader of this splinter group?
I'm not saying that at the moment.
Oh, right, okay. So it's a bit confusing. And can you also say how many of these, the suicide bombers, we've obviously seen pictures of them in the Amak video that was released yesterday. What credibility do you attach to that video? And can you give a sense of, did Islamic State, they're claiming responsibility for the attack, did they train these people? Was the coordination? Who was the mastermind of this attack? Is it a foreigner?
We are conducting those investigations at the moment to see if there is a direct link to any international organizations. Right now, the IS has claimed responsibility, but I can say it's through ideology and maybe funding, but on the funding part, we are conducting investigations to find out whether they are austeric funding. But what also I can say is that this group of some of the suicide bombers, most of them are well educated and come from maybe middle or upper middle class. So they are financially quite independent and quite, their families are quite stable financially. So that is a worrying factor in this, because some of them have, I think, studied in various other countries. They hold degrees, some LLMs, there's quite well-educated people.
I think you said yesterday that one of them had been to the UK. Can you confirm, is that correct?
We believe that one of the suicide bombers studied in the UK and then maybe later on did his postgraduate in Australia before coming back to settle in Sri Lanka.
Had any of them travelled to Syria and Iraq?
No.
Sorry? Can you...
No foreigners have been arrested in this.
Sorry, but had any suicide bombers travelled to Syria and Iraq and returned?
We are still looking into that. But right now, we don't have any indication on that.
Minister, you said yesterday that the bombings were in retaliation to Christchurch bombings. It's here,
Sorry.
I'm here. This side. Here.
Oh, right.
You said you told Parliament yesterday the bombings were in retaliation to Christchurch bombings. Do we have any concrete evidence to say that?
This is according to an assessment done by the intelligence that they believe that this is a reprisal. It was basically motivated, that the Christchurch incident motivated these guys to carry out these blasts on Easter Sunday. Because this group has first, I think, a couple of months ago in the Kegol district had defaced a few Buddhist statues and attacked some temples and a church as well. But they were very, it was not to this magnitude. They were just small, attacks. But for them to take this kind of action on Easter Sunday, our intelligence services believe that they were motivated by the Christchurch incident.
Sir, but the New Zealand Prime Minister is saying that there is no intelligence.
Following up on this question, what is that assessment based on? Do they have messages from the group? What is the intelligence assessment based on?
Like I said, the intelligence services are doing their investigations and all, and according to their assessment, they believe that this was a motivation.
But do they have
motivational factor for these people?
Do they have messages or wiretaps?
I cannot indulge that kind of information.
Minister, is Mr. Ibrahim said to be the owner of the Demitagoda house? Is he under interrogation? What is the status of?
He is he's taken into custody and they're questioning him at the moment. Yes.
Hi sir, I'm Siddhant from WION. My question is, India had provided intelligence earlier. Have other countries, including India, provided more intelligence now of another series of attacks? Have you been briefed up by other countries?
Well, our intelligence agencies have links with many intelligence agencies from other countries. So I think there has been information that has been flowing from many sources. But yes, there has been, as I said in my speech yesterday, our intelligence had been briefed. And certain officials have been notified about the possible attack, but due to some, the lapse of, security arrangements, most of the officials were not notified, that is including me. And the Prime Minister was not notified about these threats, which is very unfortunate. And so there has been a lapse in that regard, but the President has come back and he has promised to take put an inquiry into this, to why there had been a lapse of about the sharing of information amongst everyone.
We have heard that the Negombo bomber moved into a house by the church 1 month ago. So is the intelligence suggesting that 1 week after the Christchurch shootings, this terror cell mobilized? It was that short a notice. There was 1 week past, they mobilized, and then 1 month later were ready to carry out these attacks.
Well, it's what we have found out is that there have been 2 safe houses, one in Negombo and one in Panagura. So it has been easy for them to plan out these attacks. So Sri Lanka is not a vast country, and I believe this group has been, at some point thinking of making some kind of attack, but I believe, according to the agencies, that the Christchurch incident would have motivated them to carry it out on Easter Sunday.
I have 2 questions.
Sorry, right now they are conducting investigations on that. It is, yes, yeah. I'm sorry, I can't, I'm restricted in saying this because the investigations is still carried out on this.
So do you have a sense for when the group splintered and how they were able to amass this level of capabilities?
I'm not too sure exactly when it was splintered, but they've been linked with various groups. I cannot confidently say exactly when this group had been,
What steps are you taking to control Islamic fundamentalism?
The Prime Minister has said that there are no links and there is no intelligence reports that they have suggesting that the attacks are connected to Christchurch. So she's actually come out and rejected the claims made by Sri Lanka. Secondly, has India provided intelligence for yet another attack that has been planned in Sri Lanka?
For the first question, I think, like I said, according to the assessment made by our intelligence services, this is what they believe, that it was motivated. As whether there was direct links, it's not. I don't believe there was a direct link in the sense there was anyone from New Zealand giving, financial benefits or motivate training or anything like that. But I think what happened in New Zealand motivated these people to carry it out on Easter Sunday.
Minister Pradeep Pillai from Network 18 India. Yes, you have accepted the fact that there has been an intelligence failure. There has been reports of multiple intelligence inputs, including that from India, about even more specifically that attacks would be made at the church. Now the top leadership of the state, the political leadership, says that they were not in the loop and they were not in the know about this. And does this point at a very serious lapse at the intelligence? And are we looking at a major shake-up at the top brass of the army, the police, the intelligence?
It is a major lapse. It is a major lapse in sharing of information, especially intelligence information. As for a shake-up, the President yesterday made a statement saying that there will be certain changes done in the hierarchy, whether it's the military or whether it's in the ministry or left to be seen. I'm sure within the next couple of days we'll find out. But the President is planning to make some changes, yes.
Coming back to the IS factor, Minister, just like Christchurch, is the assessment by the intelligence agencies that it is only a motivational or possible funding, or there is evidence to suggest that?
No, we are still conducting investigations on the possible international links. Right now, what I can safely say is that with the IS is that it has been motivational, and we are checking whether there has been funding. As the training side as well, we are still making those investigations.
Minister, Minister this side.
How would you assess the current threat level? Are you expecting any more attacks in coming days?
Well, we are asking the people to be vigilant. We are asking the people to be vigilant. I'm not saying that the country is 100% at the moment, but there are still, there could be still a few people out there. But right now we are asking people to be vigilant, but I think within the couple of days, within the next few days, we will have the situation totally under control.
What steps are you taking to control Islamic fundamentalism, sir? Because that is the basis of all this.
And connected to that, I would like to ask, connected to that.
Sorry. Yes, sorry. Yes.
There have been reports that India gave a warning about these attacks even on the day, on Easter Sunday morning. Do you know anything about how that information was transmitted? Was it a phone call? Did it come through to somebody?
Sorry, I'm not privy to that information at the moment. I think, like I said, the intelligence services have links to various other intelligence services around, international services as well. So there has been, I think, a sharing of information. But whether it was given on the particular day or the day before, I cannot actually say that at the moment.
Minister, what is
Were there 7 or 8 suicide bombers?
Mainly, investigations are being conducted by Criminal Investigation Department, CID. CID confirmed 9 suicide cadres involved this bomb blast, and out of 9, CID has identified 8 suicide cadres.
Sir, Minister, what is the origin of...
Have any of these people whom you are investigating, or any of the suicide cadres who died, have they ever been in police custody over other incidents, either at the Putlam Marathwilduwa or the Mavanat incident?
Yes, some of them, I think, even on earlier incidents, have been taken into custody. And on small skirmishes and all have been taken into custody, but nothing to this magnitude before.
So why were they released?
Families who were holding their wakes and their funerals, they said the government had failed them because they failed to act on the intelligence that they knew. Did you fail the people of Sri Lanka?
Well, there was definitely a lapse of intelligence, and the government has, we have to take responsibility because, unfortunately, the sharing of, the intelligence information had been given to the right people. I think at least this could have been, whether it could be avoided or even minimized. The situation could have been minimized. So, we cannot shake off, as the government cannot say that we are not responsible. There is a certain degree of responsibility.
Mr. Minister, could you please say what happened to...
Sri Lankan officials have said that the U.S. has provided intelligence, but the U.S. ambassador herself has said that they have received no information, and because of the number of American citizens here, the U.S. embassy would have been advised with any intelligence about such kind of attacks. So does the government still maintain that the U.S. has provided intelligence? That's my first question. And my second question is, we understand that the FBI is on the ground, and we wanted to know what the level of cooperation is with the FBI right now and what the status of that collaboration is right now.
No, I believe what said was that the U.S. government is providing help for our intelligence services by giving the FBI, there's an FBI unit down here to help with investigations. So yes, we are conducting, the CID is in contact with the FBI. There are, I think, other intelligence services from various other countries, including Australia, the Interpol, UK, and the UAE has also, the ambassador of the UAE called me yesterday, and they are willing to provide some intelligence service to help out with the investigation as well. So yes, there are various countries that are helping us at the moment.
But does Sri Lanka still, does the government still maintain that the U.S. provided advance information of the possibility of these attacks?
No, like I said, the intelligence services gather their sources from various other, intelligence services. Whether it came from the U.S. or not, I cannot say at this moment.
So, we still know that you're trying to gather whether training was the part where IS was involved or funding. But we would like to know what is the apprehension now in terms of IS really making inroads into the community here, and how many more radicalized youth are out there who could be a danger in the near future?
Yes, we have been, for the last 3-4 years, have been looking at the possible infiltration of IS into Sri Lanka. There have been some people who have traveled to Syria to take up the cause, but their families have been also under surveillance and everything. But until Easter Sunday, it was being monitored, but we didn't know it was going to go into this. Well, at least I didn't know that it was going up to, it was going to be scaled up to this.
So, Siddhant from WION again. My question is, have you sought India's help to probe the international linkages? The international linkages which your government has been talking about, have you sought New Delhi's help?
Well, India has been one of the first countries to come forward to, to give their assistance. So we are grateful of having India's assistance as well as assistance from the US, UK, and Australia and the UAE.
Minister?
Minister, 3 years ago, one of the UK anti-terrorism expert came to Sri Lanka and meet your officials, and she informed everything. And even she informed the Sri Lankan airline flight will hijack and bomb London. They informed 2 years ago, but they met the Nimal Silpasilla and everybody. But what you took the measures for that?
Well, we have right now, I think, if you're talking about the airport and all, we are at this very moment talking with Minister Arjuna Rantunge as well on the security of the airport as well as the airlines. So been speaking with the Air Force commander and everything, and we beefed up security for the airport and as well for the airlines and everything.
No, I'm asking that US, UK anti-terrorist expert came to meet Sri Lankan officials. What are the measures you took after that? And she informed these attacks.
I don't think I should give out the measures of security that we've taken up at the moment. But we've been taking a lot of, the past 3 to 4 years, a lot of experts have been coming to Sri Lanka. We've been talking about, security measures and everything like that. And we've taken their, the points that they've made, and to a certain extent, made those certain security arrangements in the country. But as to what we have taken, what measures we have taken, I think is not good to provide that information.
Mr. Gunasekara, initially we were told that 7 suicide bombers were involved in the attacks, and you just said that there were 9. Can you explain that, please?
Yeah, now CID confirmed 9 suicide carders, bomb attackers involved, and out of 9, 8 out of 9 have been identified by CID, and mainly CID is conducting investigations, and so far around 60 persons were arrested, and 32 out of 60 are in CID custody.
Sir, what is the information about the explosives? From where they procured this? From all LTT hideouts or from other countries? What kind of substance they use?
I cannot divulge that information at the moment because it's been carried out at the moment.
Today morning there is a video released by some IS channels of these suicide bombers taking pledges before they went for the attack. So do we acknowledge that? Do we have any official?
But what I would like to say is, please do not, give any publicity to these videos, because it helps to motivate other extremist elements, be it Sri Lanka or anywhere in any other country. So it's best that we do not, give no publicity to these groups.
Yeah, just a question from Mr. Gunasekara on the CID number. When you say 9 suicide people committed suicide, does it include the woman who killed herself at Dematagura?
Yes.
So was it an attack by her, or did she blow herself up when she was cornered? So there's a difference between a suicide attack and somebody, in a confrontation.
9 include her, Dematagura incident. But Kamal, it is very difficult to publish more information, please, because investigations are interrupted. CID has published only this information.
Can I just ask a question, please? I've been waiting really patiently. Thank you. Of the 60 that have been arrested, you just said that figure, can you talk about their nationalities? Are they all Sri Lankans? And were they all, it's hard to understand, you've got 60 people arrested and yet you're saying that there were only 9 suicide bombers. So can you just give a sense of what these other people were arrested for? Were they part of the plot, or were they just sort of aware and didn't alert people? And then my final question is, you said 9 suicide bombers, but you've only identified 8 of them. Does that mean potentially a 9th one is still on the run and was an unsuccessful suicide bomber, or have you just not identified him yet?
And which part of the country are they from, if you can also add to that?
From those who have been arrested, all are Sri Lankans. And they've been arrested on possible links to the attack. And so those, as usual, I cannot give out most of that information.
But are there any dual citizens holding Syrian passports?
I cannot divulge that information right now. I'm sorry.
So they are totally Sri Lankan passport holders, or they could also be having dual nationality?
I cannot divulge that information at this moment, Aman. I'm sorry.
Sir, is there any internal security? Is there any internal security?
They are from various parts of the country, not in one specific area, but spread out.
Minister, you refer to organization called JMI at the parliament under president. You refer to an organization called JMI parliament, but the Sri Lankan one, the Polish one. What does it stand for?
No, the organizations are all Sri Lankan based. The JMI, you remember that name? I'll get that information.
The leader of JMI who actually committed suicide. Leader of a splinter group. So is it the JMI guy?
No, like I said, I cannot. I'll give you the name of the JMI group. It's not on top of my head at the moment. But there had been splinter groups from both organizations coming together. Whether the main one had a name, I cannot say at the moment. But it's basically a splinter group from both organizations.
Mr. Two questions. SSP, you said that 32 of the 60 arrested suspects are in CID custody. What about the rest? Is the police interrogating them, the rest?
Yeah, CID.
No, CID, you said 32 are in custody.
Yeah. Others are in police, relevant police stations custody.
Okay, and Minister, another question to you. Are there any possible links with the Maldives that you're looking at? Because some reports looking at the movement of IS-trained people, India, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Bangladesh. Regionally, what's your sense? I mean, which are the countries that you are looking at in terms of links? Are you looking at the Maldives in particular?
Well, we are looking at all countries that are neighboring us, whether they have any links to those countries where they went for maybe radicalization or training or whatever. So we are in touch with all these governments from our neighboring countries, and they are helping us and assisting us with those investigations.
And did you pick up something to suggest that some of the suspects could have traveled in the region in the recent past?
I'm sure, yes.
So one of the news channels was running footage of a suicide bomber in Negombo Church yesterday. Is that a factual? Is that the suicide bomber?
Sorry, I think it is.
Yesterday, some news channels were running CCTV footage of a suicide bomber suspected and alleged entering the Negombo Church. So, does the police identify him as, was he the one? Or is it fake or what? Like a lot of channels were. So we need to know whether it was he has been identified out of those 8. Was he one of those 8?
Are the ones? Are you talking about what was on Facebook or?
CCTV footage from the Negombo Church, the Saint Sebastian Church.
Right.
Is he one of the 8?
Well, right now I think they are looking into those things for investigation. Whether he was one of the bombers or whatever, I think it's still early to say.
Mr. Gunasekara, could we follow up on the suicide bombers, on the suicide training?
Some of the suicide bombers had been taken into custody in the past for different crimes, different offences. Is this in relation to the defacement of Buddhist statues and temples, the Mabui incident, or something else?
I know something else. These are like skirmishes in their hometowns and, little, very, very low level kind of
this
crime.
year?
In the past.
We take only 3 questions.
You said I've been very reshuffle.
How do you tackle the problem of Islamic fundamentalism, sir?
You said this reshuffle will take 2 days. Over the coming days, there will be an overhaul of the top security staff. Is that too long to wait? Does a message not need to be sent that Sri Lanka is in control now and that heads will roll for this?
Absolutely. I'm just saying it could be 2 days, it could be 2 minutes, it could be 2 hours. It's all up to the president at the moment, so he will make these decisions.
Islamic fundamentalism.
Sir, Pradeep Pillai, Network 18 India, CNN News 18 India. One very specific question. India gave specific warnings for apart with it's unusually specific warning about the attack. This was based on an arrest that happened in India of an ISIS suspect, and he said he had trained a Sri Lankan named Zahran Hashim, and he has apparently been identified in one of the videos released by this extremist group. Was the specific information passed on that based on the information given by the ISIS suspect arrested in India, and is he Zahran Hashim, and is he one of the suicide bombers?
Well, like I said, we've been getting information from many sources, and whatever information that we get and have got would help us in our future investigations.
Sir, to follow up on the question of my colleague, what happened to the ninth person that was identified, the ninth bomber that was identified?
The ninth bomber, the lady?
Right. No, you said 9.
Can you explain?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, no, we have. There have been 9 suicide bombers. 8 have been identified. The other person, we are conducting investigations as to find out the identification, but that person also has his disease.
And is it confirmed that the 9th suicide bomber was a woman who was in the Damatagoda house?
Sorry.
Is it confirmed that the 9th suicide bomber was a woman who was in the Damatagoda house?
Yes.
Okay, and was she trained? You called her a suicide cadre. Was she trained as a suicide bomber?
Whether she was trained, I cannot say at the moment, but she definitely did commit suicide by clasping her jacket.
Thank you.
Last question. Minister, there was specific intelligence about this attack which was ignored. But before that incident, before this incident, were there any intelligence that such a group is coming up as a fundamentalist group and who has the capability of carrying any such attacks?
And are there more such intelligence that has been provided by intelligence outsourcing?
No, we like I said, we are working very closely with all the intelligence services, especially with India as well at the moment. So we are getting a lot of assistance at the moment. So they're helping us immensely to carry out the investigations, and as whether there will be further attacks, I can only say that we need to be vigilant at this moment. And like I said, I think within a couple of days we can have total control of the situation.
Sir, the female suicide bomber, was she the wife of the leader of the group that you're referring to who was also a suicide bomber at the same time?
No, but she is the wife of one of the suicide bombers. Sorry?
Was there any intelligence before, and did the intelligence agencies or security agencies aware of the existence of such
our agencies were aware that certain extremist elements were, conducting various religious classes and all in Sri Lanka, and we were, obviously aware of their work. But as whether they would take it up to this magnitude, like I said, we were not privy to that information that was gathered by the intelligence a couple of days before the bombing.
Just one last question. Do you have any idea how large this group could be? Could it be hundreds? Are there any inkling of how large this group?
I'm sorry, I cannot divulge that information at the moment. But rest assured that we are carrying out those investigations.
Thank you very much. You all are invited for a tea, cup of tea.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, that was Sri Lanka's Deputy Defence Minister Ruwan Wijewardene addressing the press, giving details about what the investigation into the series of blasts in Sri Lanka this past Sunday has brought forth. Let's quickly take you through some of those important points. First of all, he has highlighted that intelligence had been received from a number of countries on possible attacks, including from India, very specific intelligence. However, Mr. Wijewardene did admit that there was a lapse on the part of the Sri Lankan government and did add that the government has to take responsibility. He, of course, also highlighted the fact that there are 9 suicide bombers who have been identified as carrying out this series of attacks, including one woman who was married to another one of the suicide bombers. All of them are now deceased. Some of these 9 had been arrested or detained at an earlier stage. However, all of those incidents were rather minor in their intensity, minor skirmishes, if I could borrow the term used by the minister himself. He said that these incidents were minor skirmishes and nothing of the kind of scale that they saw on Sunday, which in some ways adds to the fact why these people...